technology and mobile. Yeah, so I'm the product manager at a company called Mobify. I work closely with Shawn. He's the director of engineering. For this workshop, I'm mostly going to be doing the talking, but Shawn is going to sit awkwardly off to the corner somewhere to be available for you guys. If you guys get stuck with anything, just put your hands up and he'll go and help you guys out.
I'll chime in on when Loki says the wrong things as well.
Or add color to my discussion. Okay, there's my mouse.
It's frozen.
Sorry guys, my computer just froze. Cool, all right. Oh, weird, okay. Take two, I think. That's not me, my email.
Oh. Okay.
There we go. So just quickly want to talk a little bit about Mobify so you guys have an idea of where we come from and what we do. Mobify is a mobile shopping platform, or more recently, a customer engagement tool. So we build the technology that powers the mobile experiences of shoppers and retailers out there. So if you're on their mobile website or if you're on their apps, chances are very good that the underlying technology that they're using to power those experiences are being powered by Mobify. Other than just mobile web and push notification, or mobile web and apps, we also do push notifications as well as a company. Today's talk is going to be all about apps, and the reason we're going to talk all about apps today is because apps are now becoming a thing in shopping. We're seeing more and more of our customers want apps. They want a shopping app. And the reason they want a shopping app is because they want to take advantage of all the really cool native features that are now available to them in the shopping ecosystem. So they want things like, they want push notifications to be able to send push notifications to their customers. They want Apple Pay is another one on Apple Pay. They want to take advantage of beacons. They want to be able to give like a different kind of experience when the person opens their app inside of a store. But the problem that they have is that they don't want to rewrite all of their presentation logic, right? So they just went through this experience of making their site either responsive or working with Mobify to create their mobile website. And they have great conversion rates with a tried and true design that they like. So I put up two examples here of customers that I think are doing it very well. One of them is actually our own, so it's a little cheeky, thinky. But if you look at Amazon, which this talk is about shopping websites like Amazon. So the website on the left is very similar to the app experience. Except when you're in the app, you have nice animations and transitions, and your experience is a lot faster and snappier. But we all know that behind the scenes, they're just pulling in their web content and repurposing it for their website. Really cool that they're doing that. Here's Stinky. You see the exact same thing here, but here it is in the app. So you know that they're pulling in the content from their website, and it's a really nice, much more slick experience. But they have a native tab bar, native header, they have swipey transitions and animations. So basically what we set out to do was to create a framework called Aster, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That was just designed to make that experience of taking your mobile website and cutting off the header and the footer and some other content that you don't need, repurposing how it looks like, put it on our framework, and get access to native animations and transitions sort of out of the box. A lot of the workshop is going to be you guys walking through doing that yourselves. This is the application that we'll be working on. It's called Velo. Velo is a fictitious bike shop that we created just for this tutorial, this workshop. Here you see the Velo website. Here you see the Velo app. This is the final product. You can imagine Velo, the customer, they want a app, and they want really nice smooth transitions, and they want a barcode scanner, because people scan bicycles a lot. So the second part of the exercise is going to be putting in a barcode scanner into the application. Since this is PhoneGap Day, we'll be using a PhoneGap plugin, the PhoneGap barcode scanning plugin in the exercise. So the first half is how do we take this and put it into an app, and then the second half of the workshop is how do we take advantage of the PhoneGap ecosystem in this framework. If you guys have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask. So here's Aster. This is the framework we've been building. Astro is built on top of Cordova. It has Cordova behind the scenes. It's very important to us because we want to be able to take advantage of all of the massive Cordova plugin ecosystem that's already out there. So if you go to astro.mobify.com on your computers right now, you can go and check out the homepage and just browse around and see sort of what it does. I'll talk a little bit about it as well. One of the things Aster does very well is it makes it really easy for native developers to also jump in and create native screens. That's very important to us because we always find that the last 20% or the last 10% of an app, the hardest part is that one native screen that you need to add in. So one thing that Aster does very, very well is make it really easy to do that too. And ultimately, you're writing most of it in JavaScript. Your entire application is being written in JavaScript. So let's jump straight into the workshop. Let's jump into the tutorial. Let's wait for that to update. Sorry guys, I'm having some trouble here with it. Yeah, it's good. Having some trouble here with this Connect piece of software that I'm supposed to use. So if you guys can just go to this URL, /07, getting started, PhoneGap Day workshop. Take your time, punch it in. That is going to take you to the workshop we prepared for you guys today. Also pretty cool because now you guys can go and save this URL and you guys can go and do this in your hotel rooms later today if you don't get through the entire workshop or if you guys want to come back and circle back and look at what's going on.
I missed the end of the URL.
You can also check it out.
It's just too small.
Even if you go back, oh, it's too small. Okay. Yeah, it's just go back to the previous slide. Okay, that's even better. Hold on. It's going to zoom in eventually. I think there's just a bit of a delay.
It's a pretty big delay. Sorry guys, it's on its way. I don't know if that's working actually.
Oh, the zoom in probably doesn't work. All right, just bring it back.
Sorry guys. astro.mobify.com /0.7 / getting started / PhoneGap/day or -day.
Is anybody still typing in the URL? If you are, raise your hand.
Yeah. Give you guys a couple seconds.
So I assume Astro is open source, free. What's the scoop on Astro?
Aster is not open source, unfortunately. No, it comes with a for non-commercial use license with it. When you install it and you run a generator, it prompts you for it. So you can use it in a non-commercial setting. Yeah.
We're still talking to some folks about trying
to wrangle our CTO to open source it for us. But today's exercise is not just about, we don't just want to promote Astro and talk about Astro. What I really want everyone to kind of get out of this is, if I had a mobile website and I wanted to do more than just wrap it in a native wrapper, what do I have to do to my website to make it know when it's running inside an app? And what are the typical kinds of considerations I might need if I want access to things like PhoneGap? Because our approach is probably being used by a number of other companies as well. So I think that should be the key takeaway out of all of this. All right, anyone still need time getting onto the URL? Okay. Cool, guys, let's get started. Okay. So in this workshop, we'll be building a simple mobile shopping app for iOS called Bello. By the end, you will have changed the way the website is presented in an app. You'd have added a few native features and integrated the Cordova Barcode Scanner plugin. Let's start. Can everyone just run the clone command to clone down the repo into your project? Bigger. Sure, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So one of the requirements for getting this up and running is that you are going to need to have Xcode running on your computer. So yeah, if you don't have Xcode up and running, this might not work.
Yeah, you're gonna need Xcode. Sorry about that. That's forgot about that requirement. Okay. So clone down the repo.
For Mac?
And it's also for Mac, yeah.
No, I'm saying.
This also, when you generate an app using this, you can also generate apps for Android as well.
I'm saying like Xcode, that's for Mac.
That's a Mac only thing.
So I'm on PC, so I'm just gonna watch it.
It might work for Android, but we haven't tested it on Android, so I wouldn't, like if you had Android Studio, which works with Windows, that might work. But yeah, you'd either have to watch or you could feel free to just jump out and join in your workshop if you want to.
There's for Android folks out there, there is an Android tutorial as well on the website. It's very, very similar to what we're doing, so you can probably go and follow that. So go into the directory, and we're just going to npm install everything that's in that directory. And then,
if anyone needs a hand, just feel free to raise your hand, and I'll just walk over and help you out.
So bring in some packages on the main folder. We're going to cd into the site folder and do the same thing there, npm install. And what we've done in this, for this workshop, or for this tutorial, is we include the site as part of the repo. That way, you guys are going to host the website locally on your guys' computer. And that's kind of the exercise that we're going through right now. Okay. Once you've done all of that and you've npm installed,
I don't think you. Oh, you're running on.
what's that line?
Yeah. It's running on.
There. Just run node index in that terminal window.
Do you want to just make the font a bit bigger?
Yeah. There we go. Much bigger. So once you've done that, you're gonna cd into the site directory, install everything from npm. And then once you run node index, we're going to try to host a server on localhost 5000.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So go to your browser of choice and run go to localhost 5000 and just put your hand up if you guys see this on your machines. Yeah. See some hands come up. Go up. Okay. Wait for this for a second.
After JNPM, should I run a gulp or grant or start web server?
Oh, to start this?
No, I just ran the npm command for installing the node packages, but should I run gulp or grant for starting the web server?
Sure, yes. If you go to the documentation, it says over here, just to run it, run node. I'll make this font a little bit bigger for everyone in the back.
Okay, I missed that part.
Node index.js. That's going to set up a very simple little server for you. And then you'll have the Bell site running on your computer.
Is anybody else running into Git cloning issues?
Yes.
If so, yeah, if you go to the repo, so if you go to github.com/mobify/Aster tutorial, you grab the HTTP URL instead of the SSH one.
Oh, is that the problem?
Yeah, so people get it and set up correctly.
Okay.
You can enter anything.
Freeze security out of the workshop.
Why does that make you?
Because if you don't have like everything set up such that your public keys are available, then it's not.
Okay, guys. Now that the website's up and running, I'm going to just quickly go and show you guys what that looks like. It's a very basic site. Simply, what we've got is product pages. We've got a list of all of our products, and you'll notice as well we have a footer at the bottom here, just copyright some copyright text, and we have the Velos site up there. So what we want to do next is we want to put the site into what might be just a simple PhoneGap wrapper. So let's do that next.
Show of hands, who's, I guess, behind what Loki's saying right now? I just want to make sure that we're not going too fast. Okay.
I'm still going through this stuff.
Okay. Maybe we just pause.
Sure. And then I'll talk about a little bit about what we're going to go through in these next steps. So we have this website. We're going to put it into a PhoneGap wrapper, let's say. One of the nice things is Astro's plain web view wrapper that it comes with also comes with animations. If I were to click on a link, it would then smoothly, natively animate into the next screen for me out of the box. But the one thing that we're going to find that's quite annoying, actually, is on all of these pages, what we've got now is we have this copyright at the bottom, which we kind of want to get rid of. And we want to get rid of the HTML header as well, right? So when we're in an application, we actually have a native header bar that's going up there, and we've stripped out the footer. So what that would look like is we're going to put Astro, or the Aster.js file, onto this website. And then this website will then be able to control how it looks and how it's displayed. It's a term we call making your website app aware. In other words, giving the website logic so that the website knows, it's aware of the fact that it's running within an app. So when it's running within an app, it knows not to show the header bar. When it's running within an app, it knows to hide the footer. When it's running within an app, it knows to show the, let's say, show barcode button. And that's sort of the first half of this exercise, is going through that.
So just like to add to that, if you ever use something called the Modernizer, where you can kind of enhance the web experience based on what's available to you in the browser, it's kind of a similar concept. We're introducing, I guess, progressive enhancement to your existing website, but when your website is running from within the app, it can kind of change and morph depending on that.
Okay. So continuing along with the documentation, let's open and run the app. So to run the open command, you have to go to a new terminal window, because you have the server running in this one. So don't close the server, keep the server running in the background. Just open iOS, Velo, and this is an important one here. We want to open the workspace file and not the project file. So you'll see there are two here, the project file and the workspace file. We just want to open up the workspace file.
One of the big reasons why we do get you to open Xcode is because this SDK is one that really encourages you to, if you do want to build one of your views or some of your features using native, we expose that as you have to use Xcode to do that. So we kind of just want to get everybody getting used to the idea of using Xcode or potentially using Android Studio when building their app.
Right. Okay.
Was it?
Running.
Sure.
So guys, what you want to do is up in the top left here to get it running, you'll see all the projects that are in this workspace. So we have our project Velo, and then we've brought in Astro and 2 Cordova lib folders as well. So pick Velo, and then just run it on a regular iPhone 6. As simulator. And then I'll go on to explain what's going on behind the scenes once it's running. Shawn, I might need your help as well here.
Oh, what happened to my badge?
I got your badge. It's not moving past this.
I don't know if you have.
Oh, so only you were able to do it faster?
I don't know. I'm saying I don't know if you pulled it. What branch are you? Still building.
Has anyone else been able to build it yet?
No. Mine built out, but it gave me a fail error. Got a failure.
Mine built. We had it one in the back, so I know some things are working.
Okay.
Let's check this one.
What Xcode version is it?
What the Xcode? So
At least you guys are getting errors. I'm not getting any.
oh, I think the main reason was because you ran, but
Not getting drunk.
when you cloned it, did you clone it with
Oh, you're supposed to clone a branch? Not
Yeah.
for me. Oh, I probably.
So
did
yeah, the
same
instructions,
thing.
it was like, so one thing is if you haven't checked out, like if you didn't copy and paste the clone command, then you might have missed out on the fact that we automatically check out a specific branch for this. Loki, do you remember the name of the branch? Or if you just check out PhoneGap Day. So yeah, if you want to just check out PhoneGap Day, that might be one of your problems. So if we're in there. Let's give it another shot. So the first time it runs, it takes a little while to install a bunch of other NPM dependencies.
You look at this.
So your NPM stuff still building. Oh, it's just this one. Okay. Okay, so if NPM is not on your path, so it is on your path. Oh, you're using NPM. Okay, so what you're going to have to do, yeah, made it so that if you don't, if it, like, Xcode can't find NPM, so if you go inside of CDN, copy user to message example without the example. Your path to that there.
No, it's just because I was using.
Yeah, it didn't know where to find. Yeah. Aha. Success.
Shawn?
Yeah.
There we go. I think so. Yeah, no, I think it's good now. But it's going to take a while for some people. It took a while for me to. Apparently, there were some
I'll just
changes,
describe this.
a significant amount of changes that have just occurred to the repo.
I was going to walk through something quickly, look, because I think other people might be finding this. Has anyone been getting the error, can't find NPM? I know we had one over there, one over here. I'm just going to go over that really quickly. So if you are having issues not finding NPM, what you want to do is inside of the Aster tutorial folder, go inside of the app folder. You notice there's this file called user.env.sh.example. You'll just want to copy that and remove the example. And in there you can specify where your NPM is. So if you go which NPM, that'll grab you the location of NPM. And so you'll just want to grab the folder that it's in. And then if you copied user env.sh.example to user env, oh wow, that was really fast.
Yeah, my keyboard is super fast.
And you just delete example, and then edit that file. So user env.sh. You'll want to replace this piece with the location for where your NPM is located. So, did that work out? tried it again. Just check it out.
Right, so, and then the other problem that I was having, turns out if you push the build button, you have to wait a little bit of a while. What it's doing is it's actually grabbing all the dependencies and pulling them in. A lot of them are related to Node and NPM related to dependencies.
It's still not fine.
Okay, how many people have it running? Okay, we've got some few people. So losing people along the way. Does anyone else need any help? Anyone need help? Okay, so let's look at what we just built. So,
No, it's supposed to be inside of the app folder, yeah. So can you just tell us in here to see?
so what we've got is we've got our app running inside what is basically a simple
Sorry, no, what's wrong?
a very, very simple wrapper. You'll notice anytime we click on any link, there's a nice smooth animation and transition that occurs. You'll also notice that the header and the footer have been removed. And the reason for that is,
Now you can't navigate back.
yeah, you can't navigate back, not yet. We'll do that in a second.
That's right.
Um,
Is anyone else getting errors right now when trying to build? That's really weird. The default's supposed to here. But this drop down is like, which one of the things you want to compile? You want to compile the fellow app, the Aster SDK.
let's just go for, oh, December.
And now it's just running the custom shell.
Okay. So what we've done is you'll notice that in this example, we're skipping ahead here just so we can make up on some time. I pull this up here and then I pull the website here. You'll notice one of the things that we've done is we've stripped out the footer and we've stripped out the header, because here in the actual app, it's no longer the case that it's there. And what we've done to do that is, if I go over to my editor, what I've done is at the very top, I've inserted the Astro script tag. And all of you guys should have that already running in there. In the script tag, it gives us access to an object called Astro when the document runs. So what we're able to do, you'll see up there, is we're able to say, if Astro is running, if we're running in an app, then give the HTML tag a class of in-app. So we're able to use that tag to change how, ultimately how the site looks. So if I go to here and CSS and I look at styles, go forward to the bottom, you'll see up here is a bunch of styles that I've added to say that whenever I'm in the app, hide the nav bar, hide the breadcrumb, hide the footer. It's display none. This is a very simple example of how you might tweak the behavior of something visually. There is, of course, different ways you can do it as well. So using that, you can run that in your JavaScript to modify, if you're using JavaScript templating, which templates do and do not get rendered. You know you have the Astro object on the page, because if you go into your console, you can view the Astro object here and inspect it and see everything that's available to you once that's in there. It'll tell you whether or not it's running in an app, if it's running in an iOS app, an Android app, and there's a bunch of other events here that are available to you to send messages to the bridge and back. Okay.
So question. Sure. So really those elements are being loaded into the page, but they're being hidden with using JavaScript?
Being hidden with CSS, yes.
CSS.
Correct, yeah. That's a very, very simple way of doing it, but it just says that the website now knows that it's running within an app, and so it's going to change its behavior slightly. So we could all skip the make your website app aware part, since we just added that in. Next, let's add a header bar. So what we've done is we've stripped it out here, and as someone pointed out, we can't go back, which is pretty annoying. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add a header bar. So the way that we add a header bar is the first thing you want to do is open up a file called app.js. Now, most of the work that you do when you work on Aster is actually going to be in your text editor of choice. We do not recommend using Xcode for JavaScript. It's terrible at writing JavaScript. So open up Sublime or open up Atom or whatever you're using, and open up the file that's in the folder called app, and the file's called app.js. App.js is where you write most of your JavaScript code that sets up and controls your application. So in app.js here, what you're seeing is we are creating a layout. We're creating a very simple navigation plugin. You can see when we're clicking around, we're navigating and swiping in and out. And then we're just joining them together at the end and just displaying them as the main view. But the next thing we're going to do is we want to add a header bar. So in order to add a header bar, what you want to do is you want to go and add in the plugin / header bar. Don't forget the closing comma. And then also add closing comma there and bring in bar or header bar. And all of that should be shown here. So if you're following along on the tutorial on your screen, just add in the header bar. Oh, it's header bar plugin.
Does anybody else need a hand?
We need a closing quote on line 10.
Oh, yeah. So
Thank you.
you do need a from CLI. It's on our
Okay.
start things that you need.
So now that
no worries.
the header bar is in there, we need to instantiate it. So over here, you see this is where we're initializing all of our plugins. Let's just copy and paste this right from here, just to initialize the plugin.
Can you?
I
just plug it in and then it's going to do some like processing.
How many of you guys do not know what promises are in JavaScript?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the initialization before you do that?
Sure.
There's 4 plugins that look like they're being passed into the anonymous function, but only 3 initializations.
Okay.
How do you know which plugins need to be initialized and which ones don't?
In the documentation, you can see all of these API references here. Almost every single one of these ones need to get instantiated except for application, I believe.
Oh, so that's just the
Just sort of
that's the base,
the
basically.
base, correct? Yeah.
Look, I'm just going to jump in. If anybody's having issues with Grunt, if you're seeing like an error that says Grunt not found, it's because you also need the Grunt CLI, like the global tool, in order to use Grunt. So even though we bring in the version of Grunt we need for this to work, we need the global one. So you just need to go npm install -g grunt-CLI.
You can write it on the board.
Whiteboard might be right there. At the top of your document, there was a prerequisite link.
Yeah.
That's because I had that same problem, but I went to prereqs. It's like, oh, this kind of.
Hey guys, continue scrolling down. Let's add in the header bar, so copy and paste this, and I'll explain to you guys exactly what's going on here. And for anyone else who's new to promises and how they work, promises are a big part of our framework. The way that a promise works is a promise is basically an object that promises to return something at some point. And it's a great way to avoid callback hell. So you're not just always nesting callbacks one after the other. You can just say, when this object returns something, I'm going to deal with it. So in this case, what we're doing is we're saying, when the layout is done being instantiated, and when the header is done being instantiated, then we're going to run this code. So it's a lot better than saying layout promise dot init with a function, and then header bar promise right underneath that, and you're kind of stacking them. Prevents callback hell. What this is going to do is it's going to set the background color and set the text color of the header bar. And beneath that, what we want to do is we want to delete this code, so delete the main navigation promise code. This guy up here. Under here, put this in there. I'll explain to you what's going on. Okay. So that.
Strange. Did you actually have far?
Let me guide you guys through the code here real quick.
Yeah, the first there. It's just that because you're running it in the app, we're going to be getting rid of that header. But if you
The first bit of the code that we created just creates a header bar up at the very top. But as some of you guys have probably seen when you navigate around an application, the title of the header bar is associated with the content that's sort of swiping in, right? So typically if I go backwards, I need to know what the title of the previous page was, as well as keeping them in sync, right? So as I'm scrolling backwards, the header bar also is like fading away some of the content in it. So one of the key things in here is actually this line right here, set header bar. And what this does is it like lets the main navigation view know that this header bar is the one that it's responsible for. So if the header bar does anything, it needs to know that it also needs to swipe and move around the middle piece of content, and vice versa. What all of this does over here is we've stripped out that original navigation call. Whenever you navigate around in Astro, either you can click and tap links and it'll navigate, or you can specify information about that transition. So in this case, we can specify I want to go to this URL, but I also want to set the header bar's left icon, center icon, and right icon. If you look at the API docs, there are additional parameters you can pass in, such as whether or not you want it to stack or not stack onto the view. And that bit will allow us to then navigate to that to the view with the proper barcode scanner icon on it already. You'll notice that what we're doing is we're giving each of the buttons an ID. The ID we then later reference whenever we talk about events occurring to that button. So since all back buttons always have the ID of back, we're able to listen to that event, click back, and then we're just going to navigate backwards on our main view. And this is Vela running with that code being added in. You'll see as I click, the transition happens smoothly and nicely. The header bar got updated. Person in the back mentioning about the back button's there now. You can style the back button, change the back button's text. And what I was saying was about setting the content needs to know about the header, and the header needs to know about the content. So we have to say, okay, my main navigation's header bar is this one. Go be friends. It's because of instances like this where when I scroll back, you'll see the previous view has to fade in slightly, and so it needs to know about the other one in order for these types of animations and transitions to occur. So that's the first part of the exercise here. Any other links in here would easily navigate to another page as well, and you kind of get that out of the box pretty quickly. The next thing we want to do is we want to hook up this button in the top left. You'll notice as I'm clicking about here at the bottom, I clear some of this stuff. You'll see some of the numbers at the very bottom there, move it in. But you'll see there's a registration for that button occurring. And what we want to do is we want to jump back into app.js here, and we want to listen for when that button's being pressed so that we can add in the barcode scanner. So one of the nice things about Astro is that it comes with Cordova already built in. So in the documentation here, there is a section on installing Cordova plugins for anyone to go and look through if they wanted to add their own Cordova plugin into Astro. So what happens is someone has their website, they throw it into Aster, and they quickly get it set up with nice native animations and transitions. And then they want that other cool feature like Barcode Scanner. Maybe they want some kind of near-field beacon tool, and they just don't have access to building all of that themselves. So they would then go and bring in the Cordova plugin. So the next part is adding the Barcode Scanner. Because the Barcode Scanner has already been added to this project, we're not going to take you guys through how to add a Cordova plugin from scratch. The documentation is really, really good. And on top of that, the Cordova plugin, the way that you do it is very similar to how you add in Cordova plugins to an existing Cordova project. So because we have access to Cordova plugins, you'll see we're able to say window.cordova.plugins.barcode-scanner, which is really, really cool. So if you have any other Cordova plugins that you like to use, you can bring them into your Astro project really, really easily as well. So take all of this and put it below this click back event that we just have over here. We'll just insert it there. So should I insert that? And this is using the stock Cordova barcode scanner that it comes with. Here is an example of how we might use it. If any of these ones are registered, these are the URLs it'll then go to in the website. But for now, we're just going to quickly put this in here, and I'm going to hook up my phone.
The Cordova barcode scanner doesn't work unless you're actually using a physical device. So if you were actually to click on the barcode icon in the simulator, it's not.
You'll see the output coming through. That shows you that the barcode scanner is working. So let me go back to here. I'm going to run this on my phone.
I'm sure it's just for the purpose of the demo.
By the way, if you are finding it hard to kind of follow along with copying and pasting all the code, one thing you can do is if you just scroll to the bottom of the tutorial, there's like a finished code section. You can just go there and copy and paste all the contents of that file into your app.js file, and then
Jump straight to the end. Yeah. Actually, given time, that might not be a bad idea. And then, because I want everyone to also be able to ask some questions at the very end. So what Shawn was saying was, if so this is the document that you guys are looking at. Just scroll all the way to the very bottom. You'll see you can check out the final tutorial code section, and it shows you what the final piece would look like. Yeah, Shawn, this
Link right here.
Oh, that's because Aster's not actually open source, but we should probably make it so that it's clear that you need access. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for pointing out. That's really it's good to know.
Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't hook it up to there, but Barcode Scanner should work. Okay, cool. And then you guys should be able to see over here the Barcode Scanner. Okay, so here's the application. I didn't point it to my local machine, so the content in the middle is going to be gone. But if you guys put in the right IP address, it should work. Here I'm going to tap the barcode scanning icon. All I'm doing is I'm going straight into the actual Cordova barcode scanner that they have available. And here you'll see me start scanning, and you'll see the numbers come by at the bottom there. Pretty cool. Sorry. This. No, I haven't registered for any specific IDs yet. But yeah, so you basically, from a fairly simple starting point, you're able to go from taking a regular website, putting it into an application, getting rid of the Chrome that you don't need, like the header bar, the footer. You want to put it into some kind of a framework, something like Aster or any other framework that does a lot of navigation for you out of the box, so navigating around happens fairly easily. And as well as having access to a lot of other libraries. So we have access to the PhoneGap library and community, which is great for our customers as well, because they get access to things that our team would never have the time to be able to build.
There's actually also tutorials out there by PhoneGap where they teach you how you can embed PhoneGap directly inside of your iOS application. So whether or not you're starting a brand new iOS application or you already have an existing one, if you want to leverage some web content without rebuilding it for native, you can just use Cordova within an iOS app. And I think there's actually a workshop coming up by Anis, who's going to be talking about exactly that if you're interested.
Yeah, it's at 2 o'clock in the B room, which is right behind us.
So a non-closed source version of that.
Not to make you guys back up here, I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around what are like the strongest cases for using this particular framework? When is it indicated? When is it contraindicated? So I don't think it's like interchangeable with other stuff that I've seen, it's exactly functionally. So like what's the strongest case to use this set of tools?
Yeah, so I guess to give like a backstory to answer the question, the way we started out by doing this was we were building an app for one of our customers, and they wanted it to be somewhat native, somewhat web. So we built it as an Android app first. And so we started doing things like, if a user clicks on add to bag, we wanted to open up the native sidecar. And so the business logic there for being like, if user clicks add to bag, open native sidecar, we were writing that all in Java. And then we built the app again in iOS. And so we had to do the same thing, but in Swift. If user clicks add to bag, then open native sidecar. So what we ended up doing was we wanted to be able to write all of that business logic in JavaScript, and that way we don't have to repeat ourselves if we want to build this app for iOS and for Android, but you still get to build it with native components that are mixed with web components.
Right.
Actually, sorry, does that answer your question?
I think so. I mean, I'm just like, this is a little, and I don't have the development chops you guys do, so I'm trying to just kind of figure out where this is like, this is the best tool to use. And I think that answers it, when you're getting into kind of situations that are a lot more hybrid than I'm entirely used to.
Yeah, for us, it's really like, if you're just building an app that leverages web views, or just leverages web technology, so you're building a single page app that you're totally happy with it, you don't have any desire for more advanced performance, like Cordova is totally fine there. But if you were like, wanting to build an app that had a couple of views being native, then Aster makes it really easy to kind of intersperse between going from a native view to a web view to a native view, switching between tabs, some of them being native, some of them being web.
Yeah, and typically it's also when you know that you need to go and have some native screens in your application, or have some part of it, like, so one of my previous company who was working on like the earlier versions of this type of technology, we had a live audio and video interface screen where you're talking with someone, and then that part needed a lot of native engineers to work on that. The rest of the application still leveraged most of the web content out there. We put it into these nice transitions and animations to kind of keep that part, the maintenance of those screens to a minimum. And as well, we have another customer that has a very similar, they have 1 or 2 screens that are very real time. It's like a bidding interface.
I mean, Thompson, I don't mean to sidetrack the conversation, but it would be the type of
questions.
If you were going to use, NFC and you wanted to include that in a PhoneGap app, since NFC isn't really available in PhoneGap at this point in any realistic way, this is a solution.
Is NFC not available in PhoneGap? Like, there's no plugins at all?
I haven't seen there. I think I've tested a couple that I couldn't get them to work particularly.
In general, I know
But I'm saying NFC generically, Bluetooth, something that's not really well supported by PhoneGap.
So, do you mind? So, Don Coleman, who is the Bluetooth NFC god when it comes to this stuff and has written books on it, is here. He'll be doing a talk on it on Bluetooth later this afternoon. He already did one this morning, and he's written the Bluetooth plugin, the NFC plugin. So he's the guy that you want to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, if you did want to use NFC or Bluetooth within Astro, again, because we can leverage the Cordova plugin ecosystem, you could use that without.
Or I could do it native sketch.
Or that.
Huh?
Yeah, or that.
Cool. Any other questions, guys?
Gals.
No? Okay.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for joining
Thanks,
our
guys.
workshop.
Yeah, and that link will be available for you guys, so you guys can go home and finish up the rest of the tutorial. For any of you guys who want to see what it looks like on Android, there are Android tutorials on there as well. Yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have fun playing with Astro. And please, if you guys have any kind of feedback to us about it, or you want to know more, we have a Slack channel that if you guys can go here, you can just join us on Slack. Go in here, you can ask for an invite to the actual Slack channel. So give us a shout. Thank you guys.
Thank you.